Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It's time. Do we agree? It's time? It's time for more boosters, more struts? I think I need to hear some Kathy McCarty here. Anybody? Anybody get the reference? All right. Well, I am ready. I'm ready for some Kerbal Space Program. I hope you guys are ready too. I hope Kerbal Space Program is ready. So let me talk a little bit about what I plan to do. I am, as you can see, I'm in my Viking. This is not a costume, because I am a Viking. This is an outfit. This is my Viking outfit. I'm being as dapper as I can tonight, because we're doing this for a charity marathon. This is the Game On Marathon pre-show. We're getting ready for a Game On Marathon. And I want all of you to be ready for an amazing show. They've been preparing this since last year, basically, and they've got some amazing games lined up that they're going to stream from the couch starting tomorrow, about 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. I think I did the math there right. And while we're waiting for that, we're going to have some continuous streaming by, we've already seen Podman did an amazing stream of Tiny and Big, where he went on an adventure to use physics puzzles to rescue his grandfather's underwear. I didn't make up the game, so don't blame me for that. That was pretty awesome. Thank you, Pod. And then we just saw Echelon, who did an amazing playthrough from single-celled organism all the way to spacefaring empire and Spore. And coming up after I've been playing for a little while, we're going to have Newbie playing Castle in the Darkness, which is going to be amazing. He's currently the world record holder for speedrunning Castle in the Darkness. So that's going to be awesome to watch. And as for me, I think I'm going to get a little bit of this on. Let's see it here. There it is. Yeah. There's my Kerbal Space Program. You will see I've got dark multiplayer up here. I'm not actually going to load into my server. I'm going to do a new game, actually. Let me make sure. Let me see. Resume save. There's, yeah, Game On Marathon. That was my test game. We're going to delete that. We're going to make a brand new game. And we're going to do this. We're going to rock some hard mode here. So I am not the greatest Kerbal, but I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing as best I can. I have never actually been to Duna, so I think tonight I'm going to make a base on Duna. That's my plan. Duna or bust. But just to make things interesting, because I know we all like a little bit of the violence, we're going to do a science mission, so I don't have to worry about money, strap as many boosters as I can, but I'm not going to allow reverting flights, I'm not going to allow quick loading, I'm not going to have missing crews respawn. I am going to have indestructible facilities, but that's it. That is the only thing I'm going to have, and we're gonna have a little test to see how many Kerbal's deaths it takes for me to get a base up and running on Duna. So here we go. Just give a little background on what's going on with the charity. Penny Arcade started the Child's Play charity several years ago, over a decade ago, as a way of showing and giving us gamers an opportunity to show that we're not just about violence, although my plans for these Kerbals may demonstrate otherwise, but we're not just about violence. We can do good. We can give back. We can actually be part of the community. And what the charity does is supplies toys and games to children's hospitals and domestic violence shelters, which is an amazing cause. Yeah, I'm really happy to be raising money for them. If you can, use the button below and donate. As long as you don't donate anonymously, if you leave an email or something, then you'll get added into our raffles. 100% of the money you donate is going to the charity, but we are raffling off prizes. The prizes are going to be up on the Game On Marathon website, which, let's see, I will get up in the chat for you guys. GameOnMarathon.com. There you go. And yeah, no, we've got a lot of great prizes. We're going to unlock more prizes as we get closer to our goal. Last year we made $5,000. We're hoping to hit $6,000. If we can hit $6,000 this year, then we will be giving away a PlayStation 4. But there's lots of other prizes along the way. And every time a new level unlocks, you're eligible for new prizes. So yeah, donation, even now, is still a worthwhile thing, and it's a great cause. If you can't donate, though, that's okay, because as far as I'm concerned, the real heroes are the people who are spreading the word, getting more eyes in, using social media, get more people aware of the event, aware of the charity. And so yeah, I hope you guys can do that. For now, let's go blow up some Kerbals. I mean, completely safely get them to, you know, space. Oh yeah. So, I do have a bunch of mods running. Let's talk a little bit about those. Thanks, I've got it. So, I have two main mods running. I have a really lightweight life support mod going on here, where the crew will get grouchy if they're not fed. I'm going to turn off something. Oh yeah, no, they're already off. Good. Yeah, the hab effect stuff doesn't really work properly, but the rest of it's awesome. So yeah, we're running with that. It's a pretty basic life support setup. I've also got remote tech, which means I can't use unmanned craft without a relay of satellites getting to them. So we're doing this on science mode, where I start off with absolutely nothing. So we got to get some science. So let's start. I can't do missions because we're not in career mode. So let's just go, let's recruit a bunch of brave Kerbals. They're really brave for coming with me on this adventure. But we all know who's going to be the first Kerbal I'm going to put up in the sky, right? Is that right? It's Jeb. Jebediah. Jeb's the man. And I really hope that I don't kill him off on the first mission. Let's find out. So, if there's anybody here who's not familiar with Kerbal Space Program, what we're going to do now is we're going to build our rocket ship. And I don't have a lot of parts, so we're going to start with a command pod. This is what Jeb is going to be in during the flight. And my first concern is I need him to come back again. So I'm going to put a parachute on the top. Coming from seeing Spore, you're going to see a lot of similarities in the interface for how you build things. The snap points and stuff, symmetry modes. So this is, I don't want to say more advanced. It's a lot more advanced, but it's also for a different purpose, because it's going to be simulating physics on these things. So that'll get us into the air and down safely again. I need an engine that'll actually push us. Won't go far without an engine. And, you know, I could put some fins on this, but honestly, like, this is my first flight. It's not even going to get out of the atmosphere. This thing's going to go up and come down again. What I really want is I want to get some science. So I'm going to strap a mystery goo container. Yeah, you know what? Let's be fancy and make it two. Two mystery goo containers on this guy. And let's get us some science from the sky. So here we go. Launch. Tell you, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, or any suggestions, like more boosters. That's my favorite suggestion. And let's see. Here we go. Okay. So, advanced stability control. Hey Jeb, how you doing? And, oh, look at that. My staging is awful. I totally should have checked that before going out. This would, like, launch my parachute and my rocket at the same time. Let's not do that. Let's get the rocket down there. Wouldn't that have been hilarious? Just screw up the first launch right away. Okay, Jeb, I want this here. I'm setting up these windows so that I can get to my science quickly. And since we're here, Jeb, could you just step out on an EVA real quick? Give me an EVA report. Good job. Hop back in. Thank you, Jeb. What? Why didn't these stay open? Alright. Still getting used to the interface. Again, remember, I'm not an expert. I am just a humble Viking reaching for the stars. Here we go. Up into the sky. Now this is a solid fuel rocket, which means I have no control over throttle. Throttle up, throttle down, doesn't even matter. You turn it on and it just goes. And it goes till it burns out, and that's it. There's no way to stop it. It's, yeah, it does its thing. This is very different from liquid fuel rockets, which we'll be using later. But solid rockets, even though they are not, they're not very easily controlled, they do have some nice advantages. One of which is that they can be extremely efficient for just getting you up off the ground. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about money in this one. They're really monetarily efficient in career mode, but not doing that right now. So, let's see. We seem to be up pretty high. Yeah. Let's observe that mystery goo. Keep that. Observe the other one. I do that twice because you notice when I do it, it doesn't quite fill the bar, and so the other one will get a portion of that remaining bar. Not everything is like that. For example, crew reports fill the bar all the way, right from the start. And here we go. We got pretty far into the air. Look at that. First launch. Part of that's because our ship is super lightweight right now, so it doesn't take a lot to get us up. Once I have more things on the ship, then that'll get a little different. We're coming back down. Alright, and since we're losing altitude, I'm just going to go ahead and pop open our chute. Kerbal Space Program has another wonderful feature we're going to be using a lot of tonight, and that is time acceleration. So I'm going to speed up my fall to 4 times normal speed until we're down under like 2 kilometers. There we go. Back to normal speed. I don't want to be under acceleration for major changes because it can like skip past important things like my parachute opening. Let's also turn off. There we go. Yeah, parachute's not opening can be bad. Now that the parachute's open, I'll speed it up again until we get near the ground. I could probably ride it all the way in the ground, but I like to be safe. Alright. We drifted a little bit when we were in there, not landing exactly on it, but that's to be expected. Actually, I kind of expected us to drift out over the ocean. But we have landed. So, let's recover that vessel. Now we've got some science. The big deal right now is I need to start unlocking things that'll let me, first, do more and better science experiments. And second, oh look at that, 22 science, that's nice. And second, get to new places. So, you give a little breakdown to how science works in this game. Right, so every location has an amount of science you can get from it, with different experiments and different situations. That's what that bar is. That's how much progress I've made towards getting everything I can out of that particular location and situation combination with that particular piece of equipment. So getting to new locations is just as useful to science as unlocking better science equipment, like the Science Junior 5 science. Yeah, I got lots of science. This is great. I've got more. No, not enough to get anything. All right, well, we'll get some more science. Got basic rocketry. Basic rocketry is good. Basic rocketry is getting me my first liquid fuel engine, an even better solid fuel booster, and a liquid fuel tank. So, what are we going to do next? How can we get some more science? I'm open to suggestions. Should I go for really high in the atmosphere, maybe get into space? I bet I could do that. Or I could try crashing in some of the nearby places. Something I am a little concerned with, though. Okay, I have a decoupler. I'm a little concerned with how heavy I'll be coming down if I have a lot of science equipment. Right now I've only got the one parachute. So let's try to do something really high in the air. Take these guys out. Because coming down on one piece is going to be important for this next one. So let's put on the decoupler. Okay, so our stage now is decouple and parachute. Let's put on a fuel tank with a little bit of liquid fuel, just enough to control myself. And then that liquid fuel engine that we got. And then I'm going to do another decoupler here. I'm going to stick those mystery goo onto my capsule. So I think I can bring it down safely. I'd love to get the Science Junior up there, but I don't think I can bring it down safely. So we're just gonna put some big ol' boosters on. More than one too. I wanna really get this rolling. Let's see. Think this will get high enough in the air? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty lightweight. These boosters will burn for a while. Thing about these boosters is I got like very little control once they go off. You know what? More boosters, more struts, right? Right? Let's do one more. Alright. That should throw me really far. Now, I do want to have a little bit of control while I'm going up, and that's really hard. Putting fins on makes me go straight-ish, but I don't really want to go straight-ish. I want to kind of go turn-ish. So, what to do? These have no control surfaces whatsoever. So I think I'm going to put them in quadrilateral symmetry on this final stage. Let's see. Where's my center of mass? Yeah. I think I'm going to do that so that I can turn easily when the first stage is going off, but after the next two it'll kind of straighten out. That's what I'm going to do. And Jeb, that was a great ride. I'm actually gonna pull you, and I'm gonna let who else? Let's let some of the non-vet super pilots go. Let's let Veronica. All right. I just want to be fair to everybody. So let's see if I can get some upper atmosphere, or maybe some space, some like orbital science. That would be awesome. Okay, here we go. So, step one, I really want this ship to go prograde at a certain point here. Let's find out how this goes. So, launch. Taking off a little bit. It's actually looking pretty good. Going pretty straight. Let's see how my orbital is doing. Okay. Solid fuel is burning low. Out. Let's ditch it. Start up the next one. This is going to have us going even faster. I'm going to start turning prograde. This might turn me a little too fast. No, actually, it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. I like it. Okay. It's burned out. Ditch that stage. Now I want to take a look here. What is my apoapse? It's not very high, so let's fire up that last engine. Do the best we can here. That engine is just going like gangbusters. Which is great, because we're really lightweight right now. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that speed. Alright. Okay. Oh. Okay, here we go. I want to get this up above 70. Yep. Good. Oh, good. Okay. 70 kilometers is the atmosphere. So having a trajectory that puts me above 70 means I can get some science from actual outer space. And curves right back down again. So I'm going to be able to land this thing. I'm not going to drift forever in space. I am going to try and circularize a little bit when I get up there. Not completely, just enough so I've got a nice downward slope, because I don't have any heat shields. So this is going to be fun. Actually, maybe I should conserve my fuel and thrust retrograde as I come down. That might be a better option. Oh man, I'm burning through my electric charge like crazy. You know what? Okay, so just stabilize. Stabilize. And that little push there. Okay, here we go. So observe that goo. Yeah, big science, big science. Love it. Crew report. EVA, pop outside the ship, give me an EVA report. It's great, get back in there before you die. And now, I want to point retrograde. They're so maneuverable when they're small. Makes me jealous. Alright, here we go. So as we come down, we're going to start to heat up, and I'm going to use my thrust, which is easily enough to push this thing back into orbit if it needs to. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to use that thrust to slow us down so that we don't overheat. I'm also going in engine first, because the engine is designed to be on fire, so it will it'll handle the heat better. This is not a perfect setup, but it's going to get me that science. And then I can use that to get the bits that I need to start getting the actual science module up here, which would be awesome. And start throwing it around the globe, maybe get some grasslands, ocean, and shoreline science. Because that's what this playthrough is going to be all about. It's going to be all about the science. So who out there is having fun tonight? You guys been enjoying the marathon? I really want to thank Podman and Echelon for their streams so far. That was amazing. You guys did an amazing job, and it's really happy to see you guys helping out. Echelon, this was your second year helping out. Podman, you've always kind of been in doing stuff with us. I think this is your first year actually streaming on the marathon, but I know you've been around. And I love watching your streams anyway, so that's like big hearts. Those puzzle games, man, they are fun. Newbie! Newbie, I'm glad you're having a good night. To everyone watching, Newbie is going to be doing some streaming with us tonight as well. Newbie is the current world record holder for Castle in the Darkness, although he does tell me there's room to improve, so if anybody wants to get into running that, he's the guy to talk to. And he's going to be doing just a little demonstration of a 100% run tonight. Okay, so we're starting to heat up. Our angle of descent is pretty sharp. Thrusting retrograde is technically going to make me angle down further, but I'm okay with that for a couple reasons. One of them is I'm really close to going a speed where the friction isn't going to mess with me. So I really just need to get to that speed, which is right around 1 kilometer per second. So I'm just going to empty my tank. Tank is done. I don't even need it anymore. Ditch it. And there we go. We're going slow enough that I won't burn up. And it being much heavier is friction isn't pulling it back as fast, so it's going to splash into oblivion right there. Hopefully it will be a good run. Newbie, I know it will be a good run. Because it's going to be fun and because you're going to sing the sushi song. Is that right? You have to serenade the sushi to get the sushi drop. You've been the hype man for it. That is a fact, Podman. And your hype has always been... I've always said, man, the real heroes... Donating is awesome. And don't get me wrong, like, thank you all for donating. I really appreciate it. Every year, we've met our goals and exceeded them, and it's been great. But to me, like, the biggest thing are the people who are out on social media building up the hype, getting the eyes on here. That is what really helps get all of this together. So thank you for that, Pod, and thank you for streaming. And thank everybody for watching. We're going to keep this up for over 100 hours. Yeah, won't all be me, of course. Me and Newbie gonna do some games, and then tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific, the marathon will begin on the couch, and they're gonna do 100 hours of couch video games with all manner of systems, consoles. There's gonna be races, and we're giving away prizes, and we're raffling. Any donations made to the Child's Play charity, which is, by the way, a wonderful charity. Child's Play raises money for children's hospitals and domestic violence shelters to buy games and toys for children. Help them have something that distracts them from what is really a horrible experience no one should have to go through. Yeah, they do an amazing job. 100% of the money donated using that donate button down below will go to this. Every $5 donated is a ticket into the raffles for the prizes. Only one prize per level, but every time we unlock a new level, you're back in with all of those tickets. So donate early and often. That's the way to do it. As we reach each of our little sub goals, we're going to unlock more prizes. All of them are available at the Game On Marathon website, which is in the chat, or was in the chat 15 seconds ago, depending on how the delay is doing tonight. Cover vessel. And when we hit $6,000, we are adding into that pool a PlayStation 4. So, it's good stuff. This is not no small things. Some real pieces of art, some real worthwhile prizes in there. Hey, Plate Arrays! Thank you! It's great to see you again this year. Thank you, and I will pass that on to Harley. Hopefully we'll see you when the real event starts, too. I say real event. I mean, I am playing games here. Podman absolutely killed it with Tiny and Big. Echelon took a single-celled organism into a galactic empire in Spore, so hopefully I can do us proud by taking some Kerbals into Duna, the desert planet. Okay, here we go, survivability. So this unlocks... Where is it? This unlocks something that I desperately need. There it is. Radial mount parachutes. Definitely. Thank you! Thank you very much. Right, yeah. So with radial mount parachutes, I can stick parachutes all over my spaceship now instead of just on the nose cone, which means I can take a much bigger payload up and reasonably expect it to land without exploding. So that is a must-buy. Stability? Ah, yeah. It's not better winglets, but here, this is the real thing you want stability. The radial decoupler. This means that not only can I decouple stacks going down, but also stacks going sideways, which I'm going to do very silly things with. Let's get that as well. Still not ready yet for the bigger engines. I need a little more science, but that shouldn't be difficult now that I can put bigger payloads on. Oh, adding prizes. Thank you, Podman. Yeah, give them a call. I'm adding a prize actually. So, well, not me personally, but the company that I work for, one of the many things we do is jewelry, and so we are custom making a video game themed pendant. It is unisex, good for both boys and girls, has a secret message that only the most elite of gamers will recognize. We don't have it ready yet. We're hoping to have it ready before the end of the marathon. We're going to get it overnighted over. So more on that as I have pictures to show. But for tonight we're gloriously violencing the sky. So this setup worked really well, but I'm about to add weight. And when I double the weight up here, I don't think the setup's going to work as well. So we're going to do a couple things. First and foremost, most important thing, more science. Getting that Science Junior up there. I've already done basically all I can up there with these guys. We're going to put them away for now. They'll be back later when I'm doing some other things. For now, I just want to get that big science off of this from orbit. Let's pull these fins off, and now I'm going to do that thing I promised. Radial decouplers. These things are amazing. Watch what I can do. Let's just say I want to go even faster, because of course I do. Radial decoupler. And now I've got 4 more engines. Oh my goodness. Isn't that awesome? Now, it's true, I can just put 4 more engines on like this. All right. And the difference between these two techniques is, when I do it this way, basically I'm firing all 5 engines together. And then I decouple them, and then the next thing goes off. When I do it this way, and I'm gonna leave them there. When I do it this way, these engines get to fire on their own separate thing. So what I want is, I want these guys to fire, and then I'm going to ditch them. And then this guy is going to fire for a little bit to get us up a little higher. But he's going to do that all on his own, all on his lonesome. Then, once he's done, I want to get rid of him. You know what? I'm going to merge these together. There we go. So that will ditch those bottom ones and then fire this guy up. Then I want, when I ditch him, I only want to start up these 4 and not this one, so that they get a chance to burn out, and then this guy can go as a separate event. Once those get ditched, he'll go as a separate event. This is useful for controlling things. Like I said, I don't have a lot of control over these engines right now. And what I'm trying to do is create a profile where I will end up in a very horizontal trajectory, getting as close to an orbit as I can. This is really silly that I'm doing it this way, but I swear there's a good reason. No, there isn't. It's not a good reason. It's a silly, ridiculous reason that I'm still going to do because it's hilarious. and that is I'm going to try and get some extra science. So I want to get some science from where I land. All right, so I'm not satisfied merely with the science that I'm getting from space. No, no. I want some science from my landing site as well. Now, to accomplish this, I'm going to need a bunch of parachutes. Is 4 enough? Well, 5 with the nose cone? Maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? 4? I could do 8. I could really do it. I could do like 6 or 8. Let's do 6. What's it matter, right? It's not like I'm paying for the things. It is going to block the port, so the astronaut's not going to be able to get out for an EVA, but that's okay. I already got a space EVA, so let's give this a try. Who should fly this one? I think Valentina. Valentina is good. How long do you guys think these are going to last, by the way? My main ones. How long is that going to run, right? These guys are doomed. I'm such an irresponsible and horrible astronaut. Oh yeah, I totally could have put nose cones on all my rockets as well. I don't know why I didn't. You know what? I'm gonna launch anyway. I'm just gonna honey badger this, right? Alright, look at that. Already you can see we're going way faster with this setup for our initial launch, which is good. Which means I'm going to want to turn prograde way sooner. So let's start that. Let's start our prograde turn right now. Keeping an eye on my apoapsis. Okay. This is a really slow burn that's going to get me... Uh-oh. Oh, we got a problem. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Alright. Alright, Valentina. Emergency burn. Try and keep it in the sky. Try and keep it in the sky, Val. Go radial out. Go radial out. Okay, we're not going to space today, but that's alright. That's alright. I have faith in you, Valentina. There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to space today. Well, that was exciting. Yeah. I did create a wonderful trajectory to a piece of beach. So, we're just going to ride that out. Can we put... Yeah, just point us retrograde. That's fine. Just slow down a bit here. I'm come in too hot. Point me to the sky. Can we? Can we? Yeah. Alright. Well, while we're in this crazy situation, let's get some science. Right? No reason not to. Val, you got a crew report for me? Oh yeah. We've already got a crew report from this altitude. That's fine. Close the doors. Open those parachutes. Yeah, well, I told you I'm not an expert, right? Ooh. I gave you fair warning. Oh, yeah, let's turn off stability. I don't need to control my stability now. I'm parachuting down. So, that's, that could have gone better, but didn't go as badly as possible. Nobody exploded. I'm going to call it a victory. If you can walk out of the smoking, smoldering crater, and if the flaming ruins around you have not impacted the science you're carrying in your briefcase, I call it a landing, not a crash. Science! Yeah, I guarantee you that's not the last time we're going to see crazy spins like that. But I will take my hat off to Valentina for successfully landing. Don't worry, the Viking hat goes back on for the next mission. But I just have to give my respects to Valentina because my hands were off the stick on that one. I assigned her control directions, she took care of it. Mostly. All of the mistakes were mine. Something nice about science. This actually came as a surprise to me yesterday when I did a little test run of this. Is that when you do a science mode, all of your Kerbals are 5 stars right off the start. This is a really fun game, and I highly recommend it for anybody that is, if you're into excitement, adventure, building your own stuff, and science, this is the game of science. Hey, Troy! I just noticed that you were counting there. Good to see you, my man. So, yeah, actually, as a teaching tool, this game teaches something really, really interesting. It teaches orbital mechanics, which is something that I never got when it was being taught to me. I was like, what is all this trigonometry nonsense? It looks like I'm just changing numbers for the sake of changing numbers. And actually, once you get up there, it totally makes sense, right? Like, you know, down here we think about, okay, you know, I'm here now, and I want to be over there, so I'll just walk there. And walking there takes me there, and then I'm there. But in space, it's not like that. Getting somewhere takes days, weeks, months, right? So thrusting in a direction doesn't make you go in that direction. But it does change where you'll be in a week. And so you're not spending a lot of time. You'll notice this when we finally get some stuff in orbit. I'm not going to spend my time trying to thrust towards where I want to go. I'm going to thrust in some other weird directions that are going to control my orbits so that I end up where I want to go. And it's just really interesting. I don't know how well it's going to translate when you're watching, but when you start to play the game, you actually start to understand what they mean by space being curved, by, you know, space being 4-dimensional, that time is a dimension, and not just like, you know, ticks of the clock, but it's actually part of space, and you really start to feel it up there. So, highly recommend Kerbal Space Program. It's a great game. You know what else is great is landing with all this science. I forgot I can time accelerate through this. Let's get into the water, and once we get into the water, I'm going to do some more science. That's right. I'm going to study the water. Be like, how wet is the water? It's completely wet? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you be proud of yourself, Val. That was a good landing. You pulled it off. We didn't get the orbital stuff I wanted, but that's okay. We might have gotten something better. Well, no, not better. But we might have gotten something acceptable. Something that will get me the science I need to do that mission again properly. There we go. Okay. Oh, you know what? You can also get me a crew report. An aquatic crew report, and why not? Can you EVA for me, Val? I don't even know what's going to happen here. EVA, yeah, give me an EVA report. The water is wet. Board. Please board. Please don't die, Val. Please don't die. Oh, there's too many parachutes. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Recover. I may have just recovered Val without the spaceship. We're about to find out. I'll recover him separately. It's okay. Val gets her own separate plane back to the hangar. Yeah, there we go. Got a REVA report. Good job, Val. Alright, let's, tracking station. Find that ship. Got it. There it is. It didn't go far. See, it just crashed in the middle of that little inlet there. Recover. There we go. There's all that science. Good science. Alright, so, if I can head back on, let's do some science. General rocketry. Got. Alright. Now this next category I think is like 45 per. Yeah, so we can't get anything from this next one yet. But I now have bigger fuel tanks, a way bigger solid fuel launcher. I can actually start doing some like proper orbital nonsense right here. So, let's see. Think about what I want next. A lot of people would say go science, get the thermometer. That's a good call. But I do really want to pick up the first MechJeb module. Oh yeah, I am using MechJeb. Because why wouldn't you use MechJeb? MechJeb is so awesome. It adds this whole new layer to the game. Because a lot of it's about, you know, I mean, I respect the early game where you're doing a lot of the calculations yourself, where you're figuring out, you know, how your orbital mechanics works. But once you've figured it out, having a calculator that you can put in the kind of orbital maneuvers you want done and have it execute them for you is a big time saver, which lets you get onto the fun stuff. So it's a good thing. All right, so I'm gonna cut this back down to just one science module here, and I'm gonna redo entirely. Come on, come on. There we go. Chew away. Redo this bottom of this completely. So. Get a heat shield now. So we're going to come down hard. I don't need 6 of these. I can do this with 4. And I'm going to angle them so that they don't block the door. So that my astronauts can get in and out. Good. Next. Okay, so we've got landing covered. Next I want... Oh yeah, I want a decoupler. And then I want some fuel tanks. So we've got bigger fuel tanks now. I'm actually going to stack a couple of these. When you stack fuel tanks, they do automatically drain. The order they drain in is something I'm not fully mastered. I don't remember if they drain top down or bottom up. I think they drain bottom up, which might be a problem. Except when I do them radially, they drain from out in. So I don't know. We'll see. And hopefully 2 will be enough. And then let's give... Okay, so we've got this new one called a swivel. Or is the new one the Reliant? Now I'm going to start looking at, and here we're going to learn some fun things. So now I'm going to start looking at the actual stats of the engine instead of just throwing them on. So here we got 2 things I'm looking at. One of them is the max thrust. And I'm comparing the at sea level, where it's in the atmosphere at sea level, and when it's in a vacuum. But I'm also looking at what's called the engine ISP, which is specific impulse. I don't know, they spelled it out of order. It's the impulse specific. But yeah, we say it's specific impulse. Yeah, there's some math there, but you know what? Screw it. ISP, your specific impulse, that is your fuel efficiency. That's how much delta V you get out of every liter of fuel. So, this guy is 320 in a vacuum, 270 not in a vacuum. This guy is 280 not in a vacuum, 300. So this guy here is more efficient in atmosphere than this guy, but not as efficient out of an atmosphere. So this is what I want to maneuver while in space. But to get up off the ground, I may want the other guy. So how am I going to get the other guy? Well, actually, I'm probably not. We'll take a look. Maybe I will. But I'm thinking actually that I just want to use a pile of these new thumpers that I got. So let's put this together piece at a time. What we can do. Okay. It's final staging. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is a big old thing. It's a solid rocket, so it's, I don't have a huge amount of control, but I can do some neat things now with some of the parts I got. So, remember these? Our friends, the radial decouplers. I'm going to stick some radial decouplers down here. And I'm going to have my opening stage be... Where are you? Be a group of hammers. Okay, I want these guys... I want them on the bottom rung, because when the thrust pushes them out, I want them to tilt their noses back away from the ship so that they get clear really quickly. I am going to give them nose cones. So I want them to be slightly aerodynamic. And I'm going to give them a fin on the back so that they have a very slight amount of friction asymmetrically applied once they detach. This should get me a nice clean separation. Okay. I'm going to move them down. I want them to be just a little bit lower than that engine. I don't want them applying too much heat to that engine before it goes, because I'm going to have another set of them up here. Okay, now, setup like this carries with it some significant risks. And one of those risks is that spinning, that crazy, crazy spinning. I don't want to spin. Spinning's bad. So we're going to put some big old winglets down here. And that should create enough drag to keep me going. I think I'm going to bring these guys down just a little. Not quite on top of the others, but, you know. Back a bit. Alright. So we got these guys thrust. No, these guys thrust. Okay, so that's bad. Have that order in backwards. So these thrust. Then they detach. And I'm going to do their detachment as a separate one. So I'll let them spend some time detaching before I fire up these thrusters. And then when I get rid of those thrusters, I want this guy to fire immediately to push clear. And then we'll see if this can get me into orbit. How badly is this going to go? Taking all bets. So who's the brave Kerbal that's going to go on this one? Valentina just had a terrifying experience. Electa, you've been elected. So here's the goal. Get this thing into orbit, get some science, come back down again. Need to build up the science if I'm going to ever get my mission to Duna. Oh, caffeine is the greatest thing in the world. Okay. I'm glad you think I'm good. I think I'm good too, actually. I like this design. So, Untitled, I'm going to call it Good Idea 1. Save that. Launch. Here it is, the maiden voyage of the Good Idea 1. Now you may be wondering, since none of my wings actually tilt, how am I steering? I'll tell you. There's a gyroscope in the cockpit. So this thing can push itself around. It does eat up battery. If I run out of electric charge, no more steering. Awesome, right? Okay. Here we go. Okay. Doing good. Pushing me up. We're tilting a little bit. I want to tilt the other way. I want to tilt prograde. Can we just, Valentina, can you just like work on going prograde there? Thank you. All right. Yeah, so the red and yellow balls were center of mass. That was the sound of the engines crashing around. I'm really pointed wrongly here. They were center of mass with the fuel tanks full and center of mass with the fuel tanks empty. The red one was when the fuel tanks are empty. Okay, so this is kind of bad. I'm like really badly not pointed in a good way. So let's look at where my apoapse is. Alright, well, not gonna die from this. That's the good news. Alright, I've got enough control over my ship now to turn prograde. Can we actually just go past prograde? I would really love, Val, I would really love to go past prograde right now. Please, please, Val. Yes, thank you, Val. I want to go 45-degree angle and push. So I want that number to get over 70 again, but I don't want it to get much over 70 because I want to have a nice flat trajectory. And this particular solid stage that I'm boosting is going to last a while. Oh, but not much longer, so I guess, yeah. Alright, well that's good enough. We're up over 70 now, and there we go, it cut out. Okay, oh no it didn't. Now it cut out. Ditch that. Okay. Looking good. Oh, looking real good here. How much fuel I have left? Oh, this is nice. Look at that. That's a nice clean orbit there. I mean, it's not a full orbit. I am coming down, but I could spend some time in space. That was a good ship design. All right. I could repeat this ship design with the thermometer on and get some extra science. Okay, point me prograde there, Val. Back to normal stability. Okay. So, let's get our science. I'm excited. Ooh. Okay, yeah, it drains from the top down. That's good to know. I actually really appreciate that. Top down draining is good for me. Observe material bay. That's science. And close the doors. Can we point retrograde, please? Thank you, Val. Went a little past. There we go. That's fine. It's good enough. All right, let's time accelerate to our re-entry. You know what? I feel like a song. Does that terrify you? It should. You know what? Screw it. This is a charity. It's for a good cause. The cause is good. The Child's Play charity is... It really is my favorite of the charities because I know that the money is going to a good place, and I know that it's doing it in an efficient way. These guys, they're industry insiders. They know how to get the toys and games at the best possible price. Prices that mere mortals like me would never dream of. And they get them in bulk. They get them moved. Their distribution is amazing. The stories that I hear about them are just fantastic. From like parents who've actually had children who've been helped by it. Child's Play Charity is distributing toys and games to children's hospitals and domestic violence shelters around the world. Mostly in the U.S., but they've got locations everywhere. It's a very broad and very helpful organization. And, oh, am I in the atmosphere already? Holy crap. I didn't even notice. Boy, that would have been embarrassing if I just burned up right there. Let's, yeah. So I tell you what, if we get, what's a good number? A $10 donation, I'll sing a song. That's right. $10 and I'll embarrass myself. I'm not proud. Trying to keep my heat down here. If this heat meter reaches full, the part will explode. So, I'm going to try and slow down enough to make that not be an issue. Oh, ran out of fuel. But that's okay. You can see surface velocity. It's getting down there. And you know what? The person who donates, you can choose between. It's got to be a space themed song. So let's do. Well, John Lennon's Rocket Man obviously is on there. How about Major Tom? Kathy McCartney's version of Rocket Ship, which was not written by her, but which she performed way better than anyone else. And if you disagree with that, you are a blasphemer. And, oh, you know what? I can destage. I forgot that. Hey, there we go. That's going to slow me down much better. Alright. It's so dark. Can't see what's going on. Night side. Don't worry, though. I'll be unlocking some light soon. What else? There's some They Might Be Giant songs about space that are hilarious. So they sing See the Constellation or Rocket to the Moon. And you know what? If you can't donate, don't even worry about it. Like, just get the word out. Tweet, Facebook, message, tell people. Let people know what's going on. Spread the good word. Whew, I almost didn't go with my parachutes in time. I'm getting distracted. Poor Alicia here must have been panicking. Do I have sock puppets? I do not. Pretend. You're referring, of course, to the Kathy McCartney music video, which is amazing. Little sock puppets singing. They got the little alien antenna on them. It's awesome. Yeah. I was totally considering just like playing that in the background on YouTube when I loaded up the game, but I don't want like the content to be flagged for copyright violation or any of that nonsense. And fair enough, they gotta do what they gotta do or whatever, but if I sing it, then totally it's okay, because I'm terrible at singing, and there's no way they could possibly misconstrue me there's nowhere their algorithm will possibly misconstrue what I'm about to do for a song. That's a fact. That's not music. That's someone recorded some howling dogs or something. Which is totally why you should donate. Is to hear just how awful it will be. What are we doing? Alicia, how close are we to the ground? Are you on the ground? Oh my god, you didn't even land in the ocean. You just landed on like a random piece of ground. That's amazing. You know what? I want a crew report about it. And I want you to EVA. Get me an EVA report about it too. We now know more about the grasslands. Alright. Cover. I did remember to do the science on that mission, right? Oh yeah, I can do soil samples. I keep forgetting that I have all this stuff unlocked. 64 science. Alright. If the soil is as wet as the water, I might actually be underwater, just deeper. Okay, so now we're going to start making some choices. So, I am terrible with airplanes, so I'm not going to worry about aviation for now. It does unlock some nice parts for making rockets maneuverable. But the big deal is, do I want flight control, which gives me the winglet, which is good. Small reaction wheel, which will make steering easier. That's not as important for now, but also the mech jeb. Or do we go for basic science and get thermometer, batteries? Basic science. I can do without mech jeb. I am capable. Mech jeb just makes things easier, but it's more of a late game thing. So yeah, let's do the basic science. Okay, so now I can get thermometer readings. So we're going to do something that sometimes I do right away, but I kind of saved it because I just want to get it out of the way here. I want to save it till I had more science equipment, and I'll probably do something like this again later. So we're just gonna wipe this clean, start new. Command pod. This is going to be one of the most ridiculous looking spaceships you have ever laid eyes on. Okay. Command pod. And I'm going to put Science Kit Junior on top of it. 2 of them. Mystery goo. Also 2 of them. Thermometers. I only need 1. 1 thermometer. Okay. And that's it. That's the whole ship. Who's piloting? Bob. Bob can pilot this, because we don't actually need to even take off. Basic science. That's science, man. So tasty. I need to get me some better rockets, though, so I can get science further away. Okay. And here's what we do. We're going to study our launch pad. It's true. Every facility on the Kerbal base, the Kerbal Space Center, is its own biome. So let's observe the materials. I'm going to observe them twice just to fill that bar a little bit more. Mystery goo. Also twice. Thermometer. Oh yeah. Crew report. What a lovely launch site. Come out on EVA, Bob. Whew, that was quite a jump. Give me an EVA report, Bob. That's awesome. Take a surface sample, Bob. That's great. Bring it back to the capsule, Bob. There we go. Recover, and that's it. Really simple science mission there. Just studying our own launch pad. Now that we know more about the launch pad, let's see what else we can do. See what other trouble we can get up to. Did that give me enough? That did. Alright. So now I can get flight control. Awesome. Alright. I could have. I'm going to start planting flags when we get to other planets. Planting them on Kerbin. It's actually really useful to plant flags in career mode. There's missions for planting flags, and also planting flags helps you earn experience points for your Kerbals faster. Because planting a flag is the most experience-friendly thing you can do on a planet. However, all my Kerbals are at maximum experience. So I'm going to plant them as trophies when we're Vikings, we're going to claim things. We're going to fly to other planets, put flags in and say, it's mine. That's what we're going to do. I have decreed it so. Alright, so I need to get some temperature readings from some other places now. So let's go back to good idea 1. Load that up. Alright. Good idea 1, you need some new things. So, first of all, you need a thermometer. There's a little more science in space we can get. Where am I going to put the thermometer? I'm going to put it back here. Big open space, easy to spot. Okay. These guys, pulling you off and replacing you with the magnificent Delta Deluxe winglets. It's basically the same thing, super stability, but it's also got a little flap that can be moved to help steer the rocket. Genius! I love it. Okay. But as awesome as this was, getting me up there, it didn't put me into an orbit. I do really want to be in an orbit. Except what can I do in an orbit, really? No, this is fine. I'm going to get the thermometer data from space. I know, measuring temperature in space, right? But it's science, and you never know till you try. I'm going to get a second read off of this, which will bring in some more science. And then we'll get some bigger rockets. Oh yeah, and I'm bringing back Jeb. Okay, mech jet. This thing is epic. Epic. Snap this baby on. Oh, I only need one. Snap this baby on. Bam! Delta V stats. Oh yeah. Look at that. And here's the cool thing. If you add these up and you get like 3,200 or more, you can make it into an orbit. And look at that. It does. This has enough to get me into an orbit. It doesn't have enough to let me do anything once I'm in orbit. So we're going to do this one more to grab some of that basic science stuff, and then we're going to start looking at getting to the moon. Because it's time. We got the stuff. We got the tools. We got the talent. It's time we do some moon flybys. So let's get some upper atmosphere data. No, I'm sorry. Let's get some out of atmosphere data for that and for the thermometer, and then we'll set up our moon launch. Who's taking this ride? Man. I'm going to need to hire some more crew. Alright, after this launch. After this launch, we're going to build a big, ridiculous rocket. And we're going to go spin around the moon and come home. Alright. Happy to be here, aren't you? Look at all this. Look at all this data, right? Like, I get to actually see my delta V. I can see my atmospheric at the level that I'm at. The vacuum for when I get out of the atmosphere. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So thrust up. I do have the Smart Assistant. I'm not going to use it for now. Because Valentina Kerman is here, and I really don't need the Smart Assistant when Val is here to fly. Oh no, wait, that's not Val. Jissian! She is also awesome. She is apparently terrified, but awesomely terrified. I've got music running through my head right now, you guys. I could be singing if somebody wants to chip in for the charity. Just saying. Okay, let's see. Yeah, go ahead. I love how they've split away like that when you line them up right. Okay. Ooh. Getting high up there. That's good, but it needs to come down again smoothly. Come on, rocket, please! Rocket, please! Okay. I'm going to better design my next one. That's a fact. Okay, I need a way cleaner return course here. So, let's clean this up. Come down too sharp, not going to have time to brake, and it's going to be a bad day. Oh, snap! How much fuel do I have left? Save. Oh, look at that. If it wasn't for the fact that it dips in the atmosphere, that'd be a stable orbit. Baller. Alright. Yeah, I know. Like, the pros can do way better than this, but... Pro I am not. I am just a humble Viking conquering space. Alright, cool. Let's turn off SAS. No need to waste battery power on that. And, let's time accelerate to the apoapsis. Time acceleration is my best friend in this game. Well, that and caffeine, but mostly time acceleration. For those of you wondering how I can work a full shift and still stay up, this is my caffeinated beverage of choice. And also in a couple hours, we're going to have Newbie hop on, take over for me for a bit, and show off Castle in the Darkness, which is an amazing game. It's an especially amazing game if you are a gamer, because it is chock full of references. It's like references the video game. I already have crew reports from here. I want to get the last little chirp of science there. And then somewhere along the edge of this, I swear I put a thermometer on here. Where's my thermometer? There it is. Log temperature. It's cold in space. Alright, close the doors. Let's get the science home. So a nice feature is that it automatically turns off time acceleration when I hit atmosphere. So I can just cruise along at 50 times normal speed, and as soon as I hit atmosphere, bam. At a normal time acceleration. Let's point retrograde. This is the part I was distracted and almost screwed up last time. Switch back to stability assist. Ooh. I like to balance that out. That's for my own personal understanding of three-dimensional space. Space heater. Nice! Well said, Podman. Well said. I'm surprised that nobody's taken me up on the offer to embarrass myself musically. You guys are so nice to me. But there's no reason to be. It is a wonderful charity. Well, you guys know. I remember everybody's been in chat, I think, has donated last year. This is a great event. It does a lot of good. And it's the kind of good you can see, which is really nice. You know, sometimes I worry, like, some of the stuff that I want to be doing good, I can't see it, I can't confirm it, I have to trust it. And that's okay, you know, it's good to have people you can trust. I really like having something that's very obviously doing something good, where I'm not at all worried about it. Hey, you know, donate where you're. If you can't afford to donate, like I said, nothing is better than spreading the word. And you have been the hype meister for, I think, for as long as we've been doing this. My memory does not go back much further than what I had for breakfast this morning, but I'm pretty sure I recall you being the hype master since the beginning. So, thank you very much. Ooh. See, now this would be a great opportunity for me to sing "See the Constellation" by They Might Be Giants. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know, just throwing that out there. Two or three, yeah. I knew I remembered. So that's how I met you. So you were doing the social media hype. It's a great event, and it's gonna be great. They've got great games lined up. The couch events are always fun too, because they always, you know, have little random prizes. You donate, and people throw pies in each other's faces or something. And this year, they're doing races, and if I remember right, they're going to have a donation incentive where you can force the racers to trade controllers and basically swap who's in first. I don't know how that legitimizes it as a race, but I think it's going to be hilarious. It's basically the blue shell. It's the Mario Kart blue shell. Yeah. Throw challenges at him. Blindfold the guy who's in the lead for a minute. You still have viewers, Pudman. We like to watch your stream. I mean, back when you had viewers. Your viewers all came out tonight. Came out tonight and watched your amazing run of Tiny and Big. That was awesome. I'm sorry that I had to mute it at work. I'm gonna go back and watch the VOD once all this is over, because that looked amazing. I kind of want to hear like what you were saying now. Okay, so as we get into the thicker atmosphere here, this atmosphere increases on sort of a linear scale, but vertically it doesn't. So as we get in vertically, I'm going to start to suddenly have some issues, and here we're seeing them crop up. Need to keep myself centered. I'm not using the automatic pilot because it drains the battery, and if I run out of charge at this point, I am fiery toast. Now, I do have a heat shield, so I could ditch this stuff, but I don't want to because I can use it. I still got some fuel left in the engine, which I can use to slow myself down when I start getting into at-risk speeds. It is a little terrifying that the overheat warning is on. It's a little terrifying that I'm slowing down when at this... I guess I'm not heading too sharply downward. I am heading downward, though. And often when you're heading downward, you're going faster the closer you get to the gravity well you're heading downward towards. So... yeah. Full throttle, kill the velocity, kill as much as I can, empty it, alright, ditch that engine, don't need it anymore, rely on the heat shield. Now the heat shield will not last forever. It has an amount of ablator listed here, and as that ticks down I get closer and closer to Kersplosion, but I believe that is plenty of ablator to get me safely out of this nosedive here. Besides, we're slowing down really rapidly now that we're lighter weight, and once I drop below 1,000 meters per second, No problem. Heat won't even be an issue at that point. Apparently, there's some pretty awesome new spacecraft that when they're coming in like this, they're weirdly shaped where they can tilt and actually steer, like, based on all of the air that's running by and stuff. I don't know enough about it, but it sounds awesome. There we go. Velocity is now safe-ish. Where are we coming down at? Ocean. Ocean's a little bit boring, but that's alright. I get these nice colored indicators too. See how that's white on a red background? That means if I open them, they'll get torn off by the sheer speed the wind is going by at. But now it's white on a white background, that means it's safe to open the parachutes. Yellow on the white background means that they're not going to rip off, but they are still going too fast to fully deploy, or the atmosphere is too thin for them to fully deploy. These guys should deploy when I'm about 1,000 meters up. Spider! What do you mean historically inaccurate? This is a completely accurate reconstruction of what I wore last year. But Vikings aren't history. I'm alive and well, thank you. Good to see you, Spider. I'm glad you could come and witness the embarrassment of my attempt at being a space engineer. This is my resume for SpaceX. I've so far not killed any Kerbals and only had a few horrifying explosions. Business Viking, that's right. Business Viking. Does your longboat have all the accessories it needs to really maximize your space experience? Outer space longboats are my specialty. As the Space Business Viking, this is my job and this is what I can do for you. High-tech polymer shields and battle axes, so that when your space canoe is flying through the sky, you're ready. Oh, the blessings of caffeine. By Thor, that is the right drink for tonight. Alright, so green means they've fully deployed, fully functional. Also, I am moving at less than 4 meters per second, which is ideal. I can get away with going faster. I've had successful landings at less than 10 meters per second, but when I've got fragile equipment, like science stuff at the bottom, like, I'm okay going fast when I'm landing on legs, but right now I'm not. I'm landing, well, I'm splashing, it's water. But I didn't know it was going to be water until we came down out of the sky. For all I knew, I was coming down onto a mountaintop. So, lots of parachutes. Lots of parachutes makes it work. Yeah. It's a way to do it. We're gonna design a really nice ship now, because I think I don't know if this is enough science, but I think I've done enough enough stuff in the local area that it's time for me to start looking at the moon as a viable target. So let's see. No, I already have all this data. Yep. Cover. And I know I could do like the thing where I build a plane that doesn't even have wings and just kind of drive around the Space Center collecting science. And it's tempting. I might do it. I don't know. How much science I got? 16. I need like, what's the next thing I want? No. Yes, that's the next thing I want. I want that engine. That engine is what's going to get me onto the moon. So let's just do an orbit of the moon, get some orbital science. That'll be good. Ha. Ah, but you misspelled it, sir. You misspelled it. M-U-N. Oh, no. I don't know how to type the umlaut. Damn it. I'm going to misspell it, too. Oh, well. Alright. So this has been a grand ship. And scrap. Man, my mouse is like having some trouble today. There we go. Okay. 1373. Alright, that's okay. That's enough. That's enough to pull off the maneuver I want to pull off, which is a free return orbit. So I'm going to do a free return orbit from Moon. So now what I need is underneath it, I need a rocket. And this time, I'm going for realsies with a serious Reliant. Right? This has the best ISP. Yeah, best ISP and thrust in atmosphere of the two. Okay, so I need this Reliant and its associated boosters that I'm going to put on the sides to total me up to about 3,000, let's do 3,400, give myself some wiggle room. So that's not enough. So let's get 2 more of these on, and then I'm going to start adding the side boosters, which I'm going to stage off as we go. Okay, up to 14. Alright. This is going to be a messy spaceship. 1. I know, I only put on 1. I see it. Doing this on purpose. Thumper. Yep. Good. Nose cone. Okay. You need a tail fin. We need the big one. No, I'm not. I just realized I have to be able to turn effectively. Alright, hopefully this doesn't add too much weight. Mune! Yeah, no, it's more about like actual physics, and that's why I really love it. Is that I never really understood calculus, or really like physics, orbital mechanics, any of that until I played this game. All that stuff that they tried to teach me in high school was wasted breath, and then suddenly I'm playing Kerbal, and it all makes sense. So, all right, let's go to quadrilateral symmetry. get these guys in. Actually, I'll do that in a second. So, now that I've got quadrilateral symmetry, I can get these guys in at the height that I want. So I want them just a little below, not super below, just a little below. There. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got... that is still less than I want, but it's pretty good. I need another... Okay, that's 3,200. See, that's the vacuum, though. I know I'm losing a lot by being down here. See, that's only 2,700, 2,800. I need more. Alright, I could do this two ways. I could do some more solid rocket boosters that just pop off. Or I could just stick more fuel on. Let's try this. So let's see what I get by sticking one more fuel tank on. Okay. Because that makes it heavier. And we haven't really accomplished anything, we just sort of moved stuff around. But if I put more boosters on, I'm getting more engines running at a time. Okay, so right now these guys, they're their thing, and then they pop off and that goes. That's good. I like that. Boom. And then he pops off and that goes. Good. Okay. So let's take these winglets off. Stick them on the sides. I'm just going to put winglets here anyway. And let's get some smaller boosters. Oh, that will... help us climb and then get out of the way. You found the umlauts? Oh my god. That's awesome. Okay, I'm putting these on before I'm even looking at the numbers because these add weight, which changes the numbers. And then I want all these firing together as one. So we've got 13. Yes, this is good. By the time these numbers, so these numbers are less than what I want, but by the time I'm up to these numbers, I have more than I want, and then I finish it off there. This is good. So this is my rocket. My rocket to the moon. Okay. Because we're going to the moon, we're bringing extra science gear, which I totally should have thought of before I built this. There we go. This actually looks kind of cool. Okay, and I want these outside ones to be lower again. And maybe at the same height. Little bit lower. There we go. That's good. Okay. What are we calling it? We're calling this... trial or the other thing. Trial and error. I'm just going to call this trial. I will call the next ship error. How about that? All right. Yeah. Good. Good number. So all of these fire to get... No. Hold on. Why are these in a separate thing now? Oh, because I picked them up and moved them again. Okay. All these fire together. Good. And those ditch when if they run out of fuel. And when the rest runs out, we switch to liquid fuel and go the rest of the way. Here comes the trial. Should I be giving them names that make more sense so when I go back to look at the list, I know what the hell's going on? Yes, I should. If I was pro, if I knew what I was doing, if I was any good at this. Hey, Teresa! But I am not. I am a crazy space Viking, and we're going to the moon. Can I have the countdown? Nope. Just launching. That's right. That's how we roll. Unfortunately, that is how we roll. I'm literally rolling the ship. That's possibly problematic. I don't know yet. Let's try turning prograde, please. I forgot to switch out the pilots, but that's okay. She's terrified, but she's pushing buttons frantically. Something's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? We run out of fuel. Ditch those. Okay, I'm gonna kill the throttle so that when I switch into the next stage, it doesn't actually do anything. I'm worried about my apoaps. It's gonna get too high, too fast, and I'm not gonna be able to deal with it. So we're gonna... Okay. Ditch those guys. Cool. Okay. So now, I'm gonna stop wasting all of our electricity on this craziness. That burned a lot of electricity, and I need to save that for future maneuvers. Okay. We're getting up out of the atmosphere. So, some lessons about orbital mechanics. This is my apoapse. This is the top of my orbit. It may look like I'm going to crash into the ground, but that doesn't mean I'm not in an orbit. It just means the other end of my orbit, the periapse, is somewhere inside the planet, which means I'm going to crash into the ground. I want to move my periapse. The most effective way to move part of your orbit is when you're at the opposite end of your orbit. And you point, if I point prograde, which is the direction I'm moving, that makes the opposite of my orbit move away from me. If I point retrograde, which means point away from the direction I'm moving, it makes it move towards me. Because basically it's like a marble that's spinning a drain. And, so, let's thrust. Man, I hope I brought enough thrust. This is going to get embarrassing if I didn't bring enough thrust. I know I brought enough fuel, but I may not have brought a big enough engine, or I may have waited too long to turn it on. We're going to find out. Spaceship, please. I don't want to go back to the planet today. Oh, spaceship's running out of Delta V. Alright, gonna switch to my final stage here. We did it, Reddit! Okay. But I'm still heading back into the atmosphere. I need to avoid that. So I'm going to point right about here. Get this periaps up to about 70. Awesome. Alright. Now, it may be coincidence, maybe I'm a badass, but my apoapse happens to be exactly where I want it to be to set up my moon burn here. The question is, with my screwed up, and I really did screw it up. Oh, whew, good. Okay, I have enough to get a free return. So what I'm doing here is I'm planning a node, and I'm asking the onboard computer to please predict where I will be if I give a certain amount of thrust in a certain direction. And what this node is telling me is that yes, if I thrust for 21 seconds in the given direction, I will just barely pass by the moon and then come back for free. And it's that free return that I'm really interested in, because I don't have any fuel to spend to not come back. So while I'm over there, I'm going to adjust my free return to hit atmosphere, and we're going to aerobrake. It's going to be great. You always bring enough thrust? That's, that should go on a t-shirt there. You have to have a rocket on the ship so they don't misinterpret it as, you know, meaning something else. But that would be a great t-shirt. Alright. So. Oh, it refilled my electric charge. I forgot about that. Some of these motors have alternators that will refill the electric charge. That's amazing. Okay, so here is my target. I want to point at the target, and then in 19 minutes we're going to thrust. I don't actually want to wait 19 real minutes, so I'm going to time accelerate. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, that's enough here. That's perfect. You have realized the optimal design to deliver your message. That is a fact. Okay. Since my burn is going to take 21 seconds, I want to start it when I'm about 10 seconds from the node. Maybe like 12 seconds from the node. There we go. Okay. And you'll see, watch the blue line, watch what happens to it as I thrust. Okay, I got my free return. It is going to put me higher in the air than or higher above Kerbal than I want to be, but that's okay. I'm going to adjust that at the other end because, miraculously, I still have 93 meters per second of delta V, which I will use to make a tiny adjustment at the other end of my orbit. Because remember, you have the most influence over a point of your orbit at the opposite side. And that'll let me just kind of tuck that in so that I catch atmosphere, and the atmosphere will drag me down, down into a spiral of fire and death, for which I believe I am adequately prepared. So, it's time to turn off stability assist and head to the moon. Yeah. Head to the moon. I'm heading there kind of slow. Let's head there a little faster. There we go. There it is. There's moon. And I'm about to transition from Kerbal's sphere of influence, where Kerbal has gravitational dominance, to the moon's. A little more acceleration there. I know. The game doesn't like to accelerate me through sphere of influence changes, which is fine. I understand that. It's a tricky thing to calculate, but I don't got all night. Well, actually I do. I am going to be here all night. So that was completely false the moment I said it. Alright, now, currently, my projected course includes, right, the distance that I traverse after I intersect with the moon, but, okay, so this is a little weird. This is one of the reasons why this gets a little weird, is I'm apparently not at the moon. So we're gonna have to thrust at the moon. This is a terrible idea. Why did I think I could do this? Why am I missing the moon? Here I am at my apoapse. What happened? Why did I miss the moon? I don't have the delta V to do an adjustment up here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to just get the science we can from where we are, and we're going to go home. We're going to try this again with a bigger ship and more boosters and more fuel. That is the answer to everything. More boosters. Crew report. Science. Still getting good science out here. It's not moon science, but it's good science. EVA, please. Oh my goodness. What? No! No, Kerbal! Kerbal! Why? Oh my goodness, Kerbal crashed. I'm so sorry, everybody. Alright, we're gonna launch it again. Well, that was embarrassing. I figured I'd be crashing spaceships, not computers. Oh no. Oh, my poor little computer. Not built for having that much going on, I guess. That was weird. didn't have like a whole lot going on. So, anybody's guess as to where that's saved. So how you guys doing? It's great to see such a crowd tonight. I didn't know how many people were going to actually be up like at this hour, but I guess we have some internationals. It's a global phenomena, and also some serious night owls. Ah. If his newbiness is around and about, I'm thinking that in maybe another hour, you can be ready to go. You're leaving for work, Spider? All right. I guess you gotta work. Yeah. I used to be a serious night owl till I had a day job. I still would like to be a serious night owl. I'm always just a little more together at night. For some reason, I don't know. Never was a morning person, but it's okay. Since everybody else seems to be, that's when I go to work. Somebody's got to be a Viking, right? Day Viking. By day, he's a simple Viking raiding the coastline in his longboat. But at night, he is Business Viking. It's gonna be my new superhero. Business Viking. Okay. Let's go find the game. Resume saved game, please. Did we call it default? I could have sworn I changed the name. Alright, whatever. I meant to change the name. I probably got distracted by something. It was probably really shiny. Distracted by shiny things. Wait, no, I don't want to make another one. I want to go to the flight in progress. See? Getting distracted. I was like, oh, I can have more boosters, but the flight's already in progress. Let's go find it. Find whichever ill-fortuned Kerbal this is. Get her safely back to Kerbin with all the precious, precious science. Fly. Fly, my pretties. There you are. EVA report, please. Thank you. Board. Okay. So we hadn't... It saved before we did all the science, so we just got to redo the science here. And... thermometer? Yes, thermometer. Alright. Get a crew report. And that's it. Alright, we got a pile of science. Let's bring it home. So, since I can't get to moon because I somehow miscalculated something pretty badly. Oh man. And I'm out of, that's hilarious. Alright, well, no worries. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to thrust a little bit. That builds up a little bit of electrical power, pushing towards retrograde. So get close, thrust a little more, a little more. Okay, that was too much, but that was way too much actually. This is going to be a problem. Okay. I want... What do I want? What's survivable? 45, that's survivable. Okay. Whew. And that's it. Alright, so we're gonna land this guy. Oh man. Man, oh man. How am I gonna do this? I was not expecting to be out of electricity at this stage, so this is gonna get interesting. And remember, I'm playing no reloads and Kerbals die for good. So we may be seeing Jisan Kerman's last flight here. Getting a little nervous. Alright, at least we'll be on the daylight side. So we get to see everything in horrible, fiery detail. At least I'm pointed rear first, but I don't know how long I'm going to stay pointed that way. This is a rough situation. Alright, taking all bets here. What are we going to do? See, I can thrust to generate electricity, but it's not going to generate much. And whatever it generates is going to get used up really fast. Crash and burn. That may be the end result here. It's straightening itself somehow. If it actually just keeps itself straight, then Jisan Kerman may be the luckiest Kerbanaut in the entire Space Center. Let's find out. So it's drifting off center again. I can always ditch the engine and hope that the ablator holds out, but I don't think that we're going to be able to do this in one pass. In fact, I have a strong feeling that shortly after all this stuff explodes, I'm going to need to use the fuel to adjust into an even lower orbit to make sure that I burn off enough energy to take care of this. These guys, they're sticking out. They're not being shielded by the engine. If I can get this science back safely, then I'm going to buy the parts to properly shield my scientific equipment. No more delicate bits pointed down. kind of wish I had some kind of a turbine thing where, like, the wind blowing past would spin something that would generate electricity, because I'm getting plenty of wind, but I've got no electricity to steer with, since all my steering is done by spinning a gyroscope. God, I don't want to lose that science. I'm gonna thrust. I'm gonna thrust if I think I'm about to lose even a single point of science here. Please, please. Tilt back in. Please tilt back in. No, gotta thrust, gotta thrust. Oh my god, I have basically no fuel left. That's... Okay. Well, no, I mean, ocean landing is good. Alright, so you're not wrong. Unfortunately, I can't steer. I don't know where I'm going to land. Right now I'm going to fly through the atmosphere and out the other side. How far out the other side is constantly reducing because the atmosphere is slowing me down. Right? So some of the stuff is working in my favor. Oh, God. No, 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 no. Burning the last of my fuel. I burned the last of my fuel. Please be enough. Don't explode, don't explode. Oh, my precious science. I don't want you to explode. Come on, can we rise back up? Can we climb back up out of the atmosphere? I don't even know what's happening. How is it not exploding? I mean, I'm happy that it's not exploding. It's like at the last pixel. It's at 99% of its heat threshold. And we've stopped descending. We're going to start rising. We're starting to rise. Okay. As we rise up, the atmosphere gets thinner, the friction gets less intense. I have no more fuel. I'm hanging on to this fuel tank until I'm in space? No, there's no reason to. This fuel tank serves no purpose anymore. It's only holding me back. Lighter weight means the friction slows me down better. The slower I get, the less friction affects me. Yeah. Whew. No, my precious science! Point retrograde, I don't want to lose the other one. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it. We don't have the... I can't keep that up. We don't have the electricity. The thermometer's overheating. There's something just ironically hilarious about that. Isn't there? Well, alright. We lost a portion of the science, but we haven't lost the big science payout yet. And our ablaters only lost a little bit. We have plenty of ablator left. Alright. What's our trajectory look like? Coming down. Oh, it's terrifying. Terrifying. Alright, so we're out of the woods. No longer at risk. But we're gonna have to make another pass. So let's time accelerate. Whew. Why am I still under acceleration? There should not be any acceleration. I'm out of the atmosphere. What could possibly be accelerating me? There we go. Okay. So let's go around the loop and back again. Okay. Now, this time we're coming in a tad lower, but way lighter. And apparently pointed the wrong direction. And out of electric charge. And we're overheating already. Come on, point the right direction. No, no, that's the wrong direction. That's... Spin! Spin more! Spin more! I can't, I have no control. This isn't even plugged in, I don't know why I'm... Rest in peace, Jessiane. You were brave, and you nearly brought back amazing science. Very nearly. I do not see a way to save you. That's the first one down. Well, we knew there was going to be casualties. And so, back to the Space Center we go. Alas, poor Kerbal. I knew her well, Horatio. A Kerbal of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. Next time we will do it bigger, better. Let's go to the astronaut complex. You're all hired. All of you. Welcome to the program. Alright. The person you're replacing, don't worry about the person you're replacing. They have an excellent monument out back. For glory! Okay, what went wrong? Well, several things. Several things went wrong. Obviously, not enough boosters. And not enough fuel. A lot of things. So, let's start more fuel. How you doing, noob? Newbie? You feeling good? You feeling ready? What I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna do that thing I did on the other ship. Have them go in stages here. Strapping more explosives to this thing can only make it better. That is the only possibility. Nervous about your run? That's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed to be nervous. You're going to be awesome, though. I know that you're going to be awesome. And I'm thinking in maybe like 50 minutes, we switch out. So what does the viewer thinks? Does the viewer thinks you want to see some newbie in about 50 minutes? I'm gonna try this mission one more time here. Let's pick up Brave Kerbal. Who's brave? We just hired a bunch of new ones. Let's grab a new Brave Kerbal. Titrid, I love your name. Tritrid? Tritrid? I can't even pronounce it. I'm going to be screaming it in terror. I don't think I can pronounce. Panny. That's a name to scream in terror. Panny, no! Alright. Alright, let's figure out my staging. So, that group is not going to stage first. So that group's going to stage first. Then that. Okay. So, pop. You. And then you. Then you'll pop off, and then eventually you'll pop off. I'm kind of feeling like I want to add another stage here. Let's see, so after that goes yeah, this looks totally crazy, which is why I'm gonna do it. Okay. So this final group I just added Where are you? I just added you. No, not you. Yes, you. Okay. This group, I want you to be part of a new segment that I'm going to stick here. And where's your breakaway? There. You're going into that category. Alright, cool. I said 50 minutes, but I could be wrong. I was thinking 4 a.m. my time. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited for your run. I can't wait to see it. But I can wait long enough to get this Kerbal killed. I mean, totally get good science from a moon orbit. So that last one was trial. This one is error. Save. All right, putting the hat back on. It's time to go to space. Launch. I have an exceedingly complicated sequence of things that's going to happen to put this rocket into the sky. So many of them could go wrong. Should I double check all of my sequencing before I hit this button? What's more exciting? I trust my math. Do you trust my math, Penny? Penny trusts my math. Penny loves math. Look at Penny go. Penny, you need to go a little straighter, though. Look at it fly. We're spinning like crazy. But we're also pushing some serious thrust. It's making me happy. I should have triggered that stage a little earlier. That was my mistake. Come on, Kerbal. Come on, you can do it. I want to see my Napo apps. Oh god, I'm flying like an airplane, not like a rocket. This is awful. Pan, I blame you. You're the pilot. Okay, you know what? Just let's take care of this right now. This isn't good. Oh, we're overheating. We're getting too low. Penny, abort, abort. Ditch your extra stages, Penny. Ah. Wow. Penny, I congratulate you on being alive. That is an impressive feat right there. Hopefully none of that debris falls out of the sky and kills you. Man, we left a lot of it. Oh. Oh dear. Oh, Penny. I'm glad I chose a Kerbal with a name I can scream in terror. That was the right call. Alright, chutes are fully deployed. Let's time accelerate till we either splash down or get killed by falling debris. You just look at those things go. Ah. And splash. Well, while we're here, any more things we can learn about water? Hey, that was some new stuff we didn't know before. That's right, we didn't have a full science kit last time we were in water. Huh. I could have sworn we had mystery goo, though. Maybe this is different water? This is different water. Well, I'll be. That's interesting. Ooh, I can take a surface sample of the water. Surprisingly, that was not a total loss. We got some science! Oh! I'm a happy, science-y person here. I'll take that. I would call it a win. We walked out of the flaming rubble with 52 science. Calling that a win. Let's buy something. Let's buy something that's going to help us out. Let's buy advanced rocketry. Better fuel tank. Thud liquid engines. That'll get us off the ground better. So we can have absurd amounts of initial thrust. And the Terrier. Yeah. Yep, that's what we need. For science! Wasn't there a They Might Be Giants song called For Science? That was freaking hilarious. I seem to remember it being really, really hilarious. Okay, so we're scrapping 90% of this. It's time to make a completely new disaster. With our awesome new parts. So, first up, new fuel tank that is twice as big as the old fuel tank, which means better structural integrity. Less flippy flopping about. Also, new engine Terrier, which, if we take a look, has a vacuum ISP of 345. It's better than any of these guys. 320? Yeah, no, 345. Now, it is worth noting that its actual thrust is awful. But that's okay. We're not bringing it for the thrust. We're bringing it for the fuel efficiency. See, I can... Look at that. Already way more delta V. Love it. Okay. So then... we put it in a box. We put that box in a bigger box. We mail that box to ourselves. And when it arrives, we smash it with a hammer. All right. This is going to be a big honkin' rocket here, but we're going to do this in a fun way. So, I'm going to use, this is our, ooh, let's see. Your ISP is alright, your thrust is, you're basically, yeah, you're basically a Reliant. Kind of in between. Alright. So we're going to surround this Reliant with thuds. And this thing is going to take off like a rocket. Like a rocket. Kronk? Yeah! We can name it Kronk. Good reference. I approve. Alright, we're going to do a similar thing that I've been doing with the radial decouplers. Okay. But instead of solid fuel, I'm going to be strapping liquid fuel to them. I don't know why I'm going to do that, though. Actually, is there a reason to do that? I need to stop and really think about this. So what am I trying to do? So this is my mission. This is got to just get me up. That's all it's got to do. So I need, you know what? Forget these guys. This is good. 1826, yeah. Alright. This is fine. What I need now is I need thumpers. Thumper's got a thump. Nose cones. Let's put winglets on this thing. Let's put winglets on everything. Everybody gets a winglet. And you get a winglet. And you get a winglet. Everybody gets a winglet. I can tell that is still not enough delta V. So you don't get winglets. I feel like I'm falling into a pattern, but the more boosters thing really works. Really works indeed. I spy with my little eye something beginning with explosion, but ending with space. Explosions that take us to space. Okay, I'm not going to go bananas with this one as much. I am going to give those guys little fins. Alright. So let's set up the staging now. You guys push, push, push. I'm going to swap you from a Reliant to a Swivel. For better out-of-atmosphere behavior. Alright. This pleases me. Okay, to the moon, Alice. We are calling him Kronk. Who shall pilot Kronk? Alicia! Panny, you gave me enough of a scare. Alicia's turn. Okay. Ditch, ditch, ditch. Good. Good. Launch. Wrong lever! I haven't seen that movie in years. I always like it when a movie like comes out. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be another dumb kids movie. It turns out to actually be like really hilarious and entertaining. Okay. Up we go. A little unstable, but not too bad. Alright, let's turn prograde, or start turning prograde. Alright, well, we're doing our best. We're making our best attempt at prograde. That's fine. We're doing good at the up part. There's that first useless bit. Much better on the apo-apps. I really wish we took off a little straighter. This means I'm going to have to burn fuel to get that sorted. Better now than later. Ah! No! What? Seriously. Windows just gave me like one of those, do you want to restart your computer now? Okay. Settle adjustments. I really, really want a nice clean orbit if possible. Close as I can get. Okay. Alright. See, this is looking good. I'm liking this. This is a good orbit we're making. Kronk did good. Okay. This time, I'm going to have an Alpha V. This time, I'm going to get my lunar orbit off of this incredibly poorly put together makeshift pile of duct tape and wishes. I'm like 90% sure that this ship was powered by the dreams and wishes of orphans. Also, I think MacGyver was involved in its construction. Not the new MacGyver, which I'm embarrassed for our species about, but the old MacGyver, the Richard Dean Anderson MacGyver. Hey, look at that! Periapsis. The Periapsis has appeared, peeking its head at the other side of the planet. Just need a little more. I'm gonna just like time accelerate just a tad. Just like a little bit. Not too much. Close to the apoapse. delicate, precise. Yeah, the 80s MacGyver. Actually, to be perfectly honest, my favorite Richard Dean Anderson character was Jack O'Neill from Stargate SG-1. That was amazing. I just loved watching him just, like, make fun of aliens for being overdramatic. It was great. It was good writing, good acting, just all around good television. Okay, my apoaps and periaps are both above the atmosphere. I am now in a safe and stable orbit. I'm going to let my periaps get up to like 85. Okay, good. Alright. Now where is that moon? There you are. Set as target. Alright, so I need to check my ascending and descending nodes here. Yeah, my ascending node is an 8, so I need to point... Oh, man, I keep forgetting, running out of battery. I need to start bringing big batteries on this. So, let's point anti-normal. Alright, so anti-normal basically means I'm pointing down, but it's only down because of the direction I'm turning. So the way to understand anti-normal, take your right hand, right? Curve it. Think of that curve as your orbit. That's the direction you're moving. Stick up your thumb. That's normal. So anti-normal is the other way. It's a way of orienting yourself based on your stuff. I'm pointing anti-normal because the circle that represents my orbit is not the same as the circle that represents the moon's orbit, and I want them to be the same. So here, at the ascending node, my ship is going to start going higher on normal than the moon. So I'm going to thrust anti-normal to push it down so they'll be on the same plane. This is going to make my moon intercept much, much easier. I wouldn't have to do this if I'd had a cleaner takeoff, but my takeoff was really messy. So I tried to fix it in situation, but yeah, this has still become necessary. Fortunately, it's not off by much. Less than 1 degree. I could probably have gotten away with it, but considering how disastrous the last missions have been, let's make sure Kronk gets a good experience. I think he deserves it, right? Bam. Alright, good. 0 degrees doesn't actually mean 0, it just means too small to measure. So, alright. Alright, that's good. Turn off SAS. Okay. Next, I need to make a node that will intersect with the moon. Typically, when you're coming from Kerbal, you want about like a 45-degree angle. Let's figure about here. Maneuver should be about 900 meters per second worth of delta V. Yep. Now I got plenty, so I don't need a free return here. Yeah, so I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna push extra, give up the completely free return because I've got plenty of delta V left to mess with. So there we go. Okay, that's good. That is good. Let me point towards my target node here. Ooh, I went way past it. I hate using a battery like this. I really gotta start putting bigger batteries on my ships. Okay, and now we wait. Time accelerating. 4, 3, 2, okay. Now you remember last time we tried this, it was like 10 seconds, but I have a very different engine on now. This engine I have is way slower, but it's way more efficient. So we're just going to get lined up here. Tell the pilot to keep it steady. Take down a little bit of time. Give me like minute-ish, because I'm going to slow down towards the end there. Okay, here we go. Let me just point a maneuver, see how well you can do that. Nope, nope, you're chewing through battery. Still chewing through battery. Wow, this is a disaster. I'm still gonna run out of power. I need to science some solar panels. That's the only solution to this problem. Not yet. I will be. I mean, I don't have to turn, so that's the good news. The bad news is I'm not going to be able to turn. But I guess that's okay, right? 2, 1. Okay. It's not bad, right? Do. It's no free return, but it will do. So let's keep an eye on it as we go. Right? Wow. Alright, here we go. I'll get close to the moon, I'll fly past it. I'm going to fly right on past the moon, and then at the apoapse, I will thrust a little bit to bring this down. If I get back here again, I hope I can get turned around in time. I've got lots of delta V. That's my good news. I got lots of delta V. God, it does that jumpy transition again. Okay. That's kind of brave and kind of foolish thing I just did. We'll see if it pans out for me, right? If I don't intersect the moon, I can do the science thing again, because I never got that, because she didn't survive. So we'll get that. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, it's the air conditioning. I live in Southern California, and the air conditioning is my best friend in, like, the whole world. Okay, that was like sudden magical change in my trajectory again. Not sure what's causing that. That's weird. I'm going to intersect with the moon this time, so that's great. Liking that. What happened? What does that? It's like, I'm going to intersect the moon, then I'm not going to intersect the moon. What is even happening? Okay, that looks like a moon intercept to me. That's good enough. In that tiny space of time, I should be able to get all the science I need. Hey, Banjo Jack! Everyone, my father is in stream, who has also been playing some Kerbal Space Program. We have a multiplayer server that we've been playing on. How you doing, Dad? What time is it over there? 6, almost 7 a.m.? Thank you for coming to my stream. In a moment here, we're going to find out if this succeeds or fails. If it's success or failure, I'm going to hand the stream off to Newbie for him to do his run, and then I will pick up and we'll continue the quest to conquer Duna after the Castle in the Darkness run. Alright, well, I'm now in orbit of Moon. So, somehow it's working out according to some kind of plan. So here we go. Let's get all the science we can grab. And then we will switch to Operation Get Home Alive. More mystery goo. I think the in-universe explanation of the mystery goo is that it's something they found in a trash can, and they're just exposing it to stuff to see what happens. It's science. All the science. You need a little help before your run starts? Okay, I will do my best. Is there anybody in chat that knows OBS really well that can help Newbie? Is Podman around? Pod knows OBS real well. Report and board. Alright, I've got my science. Time to take that not entirely free return. Oh, it's the assisted stability system. It's part of MechJeb. It lets me automate certain things about like maintaining stability. I'm not really using it right now. In a more complicated, more serious situation, I might use it. It's basically identical to the things that pop up on the side down here when I enter into normal stability assist, which I can't do right now because we don't have any electricity. I can turn it on, the SAS. It's the sickness avoidance system. It stops you from spinning. Hey, Brutus. He got all the way to space, and then he did a couple missions as the captain of his spaceship. Some galactic adventure missions. It was pretty awesome. Oh, yes. Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm going to thrust, and I need my periaps to be at about 45 was too low last time, so let's go 50. Okay, 80, 70, inside the atmosphere, stop, a little bit, stop, a little bit, stop, stop. Good. I'm going to leave it there. Do I have, no, I got it, okay. Alright. So, let's see if we can land this now. So what's going to happen is, when I get there, I'm going to be pointed in a really bad way. And that's going to suck. And I'm going to get straightened out basically by thrusting to orient myself. Let's see how this works out. Who's at risk? Which Kerbal did we put at risk? Whose name am I going to scream in terror? Let's see. So, Dad, Banjo-Jack, I've started this new game, and I started it in a mode where I'm not allowed to revert. I've disabled reverting flights. I have disabled Kerbals coming back to life when they die, and I have disabled save and reload. So this is kind of hard mode here. Kind of. It's not even kind of. This is hard mode. This is hard mode, but I'm building up science. I'm playing in science mode, so I don't have access to, or I don't have to deal with money. I have infinite money, but I have to do all my research without missions. So So I actually have to visit all the biomes. I'm trying to get some research from the moon back. This is my second attempt. First attempt ended in fire. Actually, no, this is my third attempt. First attempt ended in a fire explosion in the atmosphere on my way back with it. The second attempt was in a better designed ship that had a worse designed launch, and bits of the ship are scattered all over Kerbal, but at least the astronaut survived that time. So we're only at 1 death. Let's see if I can get this in. Alright. Okay, cool. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to thrust and spin. Just a tiny amount of thrust to build up momentum. Turn, turn, turn. Kill that thrust. Thrust again. Thrust, thrust, thrust. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Now we're going to find out how well I planned this. So, I need to get all that delta V purged. Fortunately, I have a bunch of delta V. So, I think I can do this in one pass. And to do it, point retrograde, and we're going to thrust. We're just going to keep on thrusting retrograde here. Pull this back in. Should be about 900 delta V, which this particular engine does not output terribly well. Bear in mind, I can only steer while I'm thrusting with this setup right now. So we're having a hell of a time. Okay. Now, as my parallax gets deeper into the gravity well, it gets harder to move it, as the slope that I'm pushing against is really, really steep in here compared to out there where it flew around freely. But if I can get it, I just want to get it like just barely under 70. Okay. I stopped short because I'm going to go through some atmosphere here. And this atmosphere is going to heat me up. And remember last time I had that problem. I didn't have any fuel left when the atmosphere started heating me, so I couldn't push against it, and I exploded. I don't want to explode. I like exploding. It's not nearly as much fun as the other thing. So we're going to try to just let us dip in. Unfortunately, my plans have gone awry, as I'm going to dip down to 42. I didn't want to dip below like 47. So I was aiming for 50. So we may get too much heat here. Everybody cross your fingers. Alicia is the name that we're going to scream in terror. No, Alicia, don't die! Let me caffeinate for a moment. Okay. Ah, you tipped! Thank you! Thank you for tipping. As with last year, we are benefiting the Child's Play charity, which takes your donations and uses them to purchase toys and games for children's hospitals and domestic violence shelters. They're a really great charity because they're in the industry. They're industry guys, so they know how to get the products for good prices. They know how to make sure they're spending the money efficiently. Okay, I think I'm getting to a point. I'm not overheating. This is great. I mean, I'm not all that deep in the atmosphere, but I'm moving slow. I think I'm going to do some thrusting here. Yep, yep. That was good. Let's do that again. $90, $80, $7. Yeah, got under 70. Okay. That's it. It's under 70. That means there's no way to stop me from landing. I'm going to land. You hear that, everybody? We're going to land! So now it's a question of landing without overheating. Ah. Yeah, and as with last year as well, every $5 that you donate is a ticket into the raffle. We're giving away a bunch of great prizes this year, which you can see at the Game On Marathon website, which I've just put into chat. The official marathon with the giveaways is starting tomorrow. This is a little pre-show that we're going to do right up until the very moment that it goes. I'm playing Kerbal Space Program. Next up, you're going to see Newbie run Castle in the Darkness, which is a fantastic game. Particularly if you are immersed in gamer culture, you will find that the game has a lot of cool references. A lot. Wait, why am I not on fire anymore? I should totally be on fire. What's happening? Did my fire graphics give out? Alright, okay. I'm confused for a moment. I'm bringing this thing down with no steering, no power. All I have is control over the jet engine. That's, I need to not make that mistake in the future. I need to put batteries and solar panels on this thing. Whew. I'm excited. Then after Newbie, I'm going to get back on, and we're going to try and keep this Kerbal train rolling all the way to Duna. But thank you, Newbie, for doing your demonstration Castle in the Darkness. For those who don't know, Newbie is the world record holder for speedrunning Castle in the Darkness. Yes, first the Newbie run. So I'm going to get this ship down one way or another. It's hitting the ground. And then we're going to see Newbie's fantastic run. Newbie, you said you were having some difficulty. Let me actually look at your... I'm going to be totally irresponsible, and while I have a Kerbal, like desperately trying to not burn up in the atmosphere, I'm just going to switch monitors here. And, let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't see anything. You got it? Yay! You got it figured out. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, look, my Kerbal is still alive. That's fantastic. Oh, did it, like, pop up an extra bar of information? Because mine did that. I had to adjust it right before I started. Something on the way the bar is set up changed between yesterday and today. But yes, it's working. Victory. Okay. Yeah, flight computer's out of power. Haha. That's to be expected. Alright, so I'm gonna start getting into thicker atmosphere pretty soon here, where I'm going to have to start thrusting to stay alive. So right now the reason I'm pointed engine down is because there's so much wind resistance coming that anytime I start tilting nose first, the wind pushes me back. As I slow down, that's going to become less and less of an effect, creating a very real risk that I spin. And if I spin while I'm still too fast, basically, I will spin just straight into fire and die. So, to prevent that, before I start spinning, as the atmosphere is getting thicker as I go down, but as my speed lowers and that thickness becomes less of a thing, I need to thrust to build up electrical charge to steer, and I need to time it right and then get rid of all that thrust to turn it into a safe velocity. Now, we know a safe velocity is about 1,000 meters per second, and we know that I have about 900 meters per second that I can dump in. So at like 1,900 meters per second, I need to turn this on, unless it looks like I need to turn it on early to save myself. So we're, you know, crossing all our things here. My radar has automatically turned itself to surface mode. So it's finally caught on to what the inevitability of this journey is. This journey inevitably ends on the ground. We're on the night side of the planet too, so we can't even see the ground properly. Wouldn't it be hilarious if there was like a terrifying mountain just looming directly overhead? Okay, starting to get some heat, and I'm right at around 19, so thrusting. We're just going to hold here. This will be the way we do this. Bringing it in. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Still got plenty of ablator ready. Sometimes the heat, if you're doing really risky things, the heat sneaks up and begins chipping at the ablator before you actually stage it. But yeah, today everything's looking good. I don't think we even need the ablator. Look at that. Slowing down. Losing the fire. Okay, we're about to run out of fuel. Out of fuel, but it doesn't matter. Ditching that stage. We don't need any even attempt at staying up right now. We're going to get the science, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally getting some solid moon science. When we come back from Newbie's exciting Castle in the Darkness adventure, I'm going to try and actually land on the moon, get some science that way. That'll be exciting. Yes, science! Science is the ultimate goal. This is awesome. Let me get some surface info here from MechJeb. So one of the interesting things about this game is your altimeter, which shows you how far you are above whatever it is you're orbiting. That shows you how far you are above sea level. This is not always useful. See, it doesn't tell you how far you are above the center of gravity of the object, which would be useful for doing a lot of math, right? So you always have to add the distance from sea level to the center. if you're doing your math. It also doesn't tell you your distance from the actual ground. So surface info here gives me my altitude true. I happen to be over water, so they're the same, but if I was over land, then my altitude true would be higher than my altitude at sea level. Yeah, so here we do. Bringing it on down. Alright, I'm going to tell it time accelerate because this next bit is boring. Alright, so, newbie, if you are ready for a Castle in the Darkness run, I'm going to go ahead and switch the Game On Marathon to display that. And then if you could go ahead and pop into the lobby of the Kerbal server, just so I can voice chat confirm with you the transition from my streaming to your streaming. I'm pretty sure I already gave you the stream key, but if you need that again, let me know. I'll message it to you. Let's see. Hey, look, here we come. Out of the tame blue yonder. We just tamed it. Alicia was victorious! Ooh. Okay. Take your time, relax. I'm going to enjoy all this science I just got. I'm going to revel in it. Victorious science. And let's see. Oh yeah, and I need to log in as Game On Marathon event so that I can change the game being played. Ooh, that is quite a pile of science. Very pleased. I'm very pleased. So, is it enough to unlock electrics to get solar panels? Yes, it is. I see no reason not to do this. That gets me solar panels. That gets me a bigger rechargeable battery bank. Lights. Yeah. Yep. We're getting electrics. Boom, it's done. It's so done, there's no taking it back. And let's pick this up, I think. Containers, container mounts. Crew cabin. Not as important since I don't have to train crew in this one. The bigger decouplers. I mean, I'm going to need this eventually, but I don't think I need it yet. I don't know the science to get anything else, though. I could get aviation. Alright. General construction. Oh, struts. That's what I needed from general construction. Of course. More boosters, more struts. How could I forget? Yeah. So there we go. So. Electrics and struts. Good stuff. How you doing there, newbie? All right, so thank you, Kerbal fans. The stream is not ending. We're going for a long time. You see that 100-hour charity event that says up there? We haven't even started the 100 hours. We're just getting warmed up. We're just doing a little pre-show before the event. And we're going to keep doing it right up until the event starts. So there is a lot more content left to watch. We're about to see Newbie run Castle in the Darkness. He is the current speedrunning world record holder for both any percent and 100%, and we're going to see a 100% run as he demonstrates why singing to the game makes the game give you better random number generation. It doesn't really, but it's still fun to try. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. I need to make one more change so that it shows we're going to be playing Castle in the Darkness. And there we go. Castle in the Darkness updated. Welcome back. Can you hear me there?
Yes.
All right, welcome newbie. Are you ready to start streaming?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. I am going to stop.
Well, I may need a stream key.
Ah, okay. No problem. Let me get that for you. Okay, I've direct messaged it to you. Alright, so you should have it there in your direct messages.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Just tell me when you're ready, and I will hit the stop button, and our audience will be treated to a Castle in the Darkness round.
Alright, I'm ready.
Okay, hitting the stop button.